Hello, friends. This is Darren Hayes of Pigskin.com. Before we take you to your favorite Sports History Network show, just want to tell you a little bit about some merch that you can pick up that represents your favorite SHN podcast. So far, there's t-shirts, coffee mugs, and even books from some of the authors that do podcasts right here on SHN. Who could buy something better than that, than have the history right from the gentleman that you hear talking about it? But we also are adding things each and every day. And where's that store, may you ask? Well, it's at SportsHistoryNetwork.com. Up at the top, there is the SHN merch button. Click on that. It'll take you right to the store, and you can be representing your favorite podcast and show the world that, hey, on the swag that I'm using, it's the headquarters of sports yesteryear, Sports History Network, and my favorite podcaster, the Sports History Network store. Shop there today. When you have two rivals meet on a college gridiron, you know you're going to have a great game usually. But when both those rivals are in the top 10, it even takes it to another elevation. That's what happened in 2005 when number 1 USC went to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who were ranked number 9 in the country, and some great things happened in the Bush Push game.
The roar of the crowd. This is a presentation from which those great moments in sports history are revived. Come listen to the roar of the crowd presented by Pigpen Sports.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of Pigskin.com. Welcome once again to the Pigpen, your place for all things great in sports history and your portal to positive football history. And we have one of your roar of the crowd greatest games ever played, and this is called the Bush Push game. How many of us remember back that fall in 2005, October 15th, when the top-ranked USC Trojans, coached by Pete Carroll, invaded South Bend to face Charlie Weiss's number 9 Notre Dame Fighting Irish in a thriller. Now, number 1 versus number 9 is good anytime, but when it's USC and Notre Dame in this storied rivalry, it just takes it up just a couple clicks on the notch of this game. And what a thriller it was. It was a fairly high-scoring affair, back and forth, featured with a 60-yard punt return by Notre Dame, and just a battle back and forth in this marquee game on NBC. That the Irish happened to come out in a rare green tops of their uniform. I mean, how often do you see that? I know they did it here once in 2022 in the Shamrock Series, but very rare lately for them to wear the green uniforms. Usually it's that royal blue when they're not in their away whites. But this was USC, and this is the number 1 team in the nation, and Charlie Weiss was going to bring out all of the Irish luck that he could, and with that superstitious green jerseys being very good luck for the Irish in the past. Thought it was a pretty good idea, and so did most of the fans who were watching it. Well, this game came all the way down to the closing minutes. Notre Dame took the lead 31-28 and gave the ball back to USC with about a minute 40 on the clock. USC at their own 20-yard line. Quarterback Matt Leinart had his great backfield of Lindell White and Reggie Bush to lean on, and the great passing game that he had, getting the ball down the field. And they zigged and zagged, a lot of passing in this because they were in that 2-minute drill offense. Worked their way all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And then one of the greatest jarring hits in college football in decades happened as Leinart rolled to his left. Looked like he was going to pass, but then he decided to take off towards the sideline, towards the pylon, and some defenders were being blocked. And right at the last second, 2 defenders come up. One smashed a diving Leinart, who actually fumbled the ball backwards and went out of bounds, back towards the bench, towards midfield. The officials called him out about the 1-yard line, and it was 2nd and goal, with just a few ticks on, just time for one more play. And what did Pete Carroll do? Well, he chose a running play. I know you're going to talk about the Super Bowl when he was coaching the Seahawks and had Marshawn Lynch against the Patriots and could have cleaned up and hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch from the 1-yard line at the end of the game, and he decided to pass. Well, back then he decided to run it, and successfully, as Matt Leinart did a quarterback sneak. He was sort of rolling against the stymied line of USC, rolling down, trying to find a hole to fall into the end zone. And then Reggie Bush came up and decided to push him from behind. There was a rule against that at the time, no longer, but it's called aiding the runner. But Bush came up behind him, pushed, and actually a couple more teammates sort of gave Leinart a push, pushed him over the goal line, and with 3 seconds left, the USC Trojans scored that touchdown to make it a 4-point lead with the extra point over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and that's when they heard the roar of the crowd. ESPN in 2019 said that this game in 2005 between the Trojans and the Fighting Irish was the number 34 greatest game ever played in the first 150 years of college football. Pretty strong statement, and I think they're right. This was a great ball game, and if you get a chance to go on YouTube or maybe you have a recording or see it on a replay somewhere, sit down and watch this game because there was just star-studded and hard-hitting, and both these teams wanted it, and that's what makes great football. And, in the aftermath, USC ended up going, staying number one the whole season, ended up playing in the Rose Bowl against Texas. And what a thrilling game that was. That's going to be coming up here in the next couple months. We're going to talk about that quite a bit. And speaking of the Rose Bowl, we're going to dedicate the month of December to the Rose Bowl and the 100th-year anniversary of the big bowl there in Pasadena, and the Rose Bowl game played in that venue. And we're just going to celebrate. We have a lot of great historians, authors as guests coming on to talk about the favorite Rose Bowl moments, games, people, and anything associated with that game. There's a lot coming up with Rose Bowl Palooza here on PigskinDispatch.com. So until tomorrow, everybody, have a great Gridiron Day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. We invite you to check out our website, PigskinDispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. PigskinDispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hi, everybody. Dan and Andrew from Hello Old Sports here. We wanted to drop in and let you know about our latest episode.
That's right. We interviewed the co-authors of Phyllis George, Shattering the Ceiling, a biography of groundbreaking broadcaster Phyllis George. And her life is really sort of a journey through 20th century America, from Miss America pageants to the Kentucky State House to the groundbreaking NFL Today show on CBS, even the Kentucky Colonels of the old ABA. We got into all sorts of stories about the Celtics under Red Auerbach, about the interview with Roger Staubach, about really all sorts of things, a fight between Brent Musburger and Jimmy the Greek. We really enjoyed talking with Lenny Shulman and Paul Volpone, who teamed up to write this book.
The book is on sale right now, wherever books are sold, but, within reason. Garage sales, probably not. So go ahead and pick up a copy today. And if you want a chance to win the book, you can go to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways and register for a chance to win. Goodbye, old sports.